How's it going? Wooden Spoon Supercoach here. We've had some bangs in the prize pool again, and we've got a new person coming into the top three. Move me out of the way. So our current leader, SLM, got himself a little Tamale anytime try scorer, another $4.28 added to him, and he's about $43 ahead from second place. JetSpeed backed the Warriors and the Raiders, so I backed them individually and multied them, giving him a nice 13.79, which sees him get on the leaderboard. So as you can see, it's quite easy to catch up if you bet with your head and get a bit of luck on your side. So don't forget to drop a comment down there for a bet for round 12, and then maybe we'll see you on the leaderboard here. While we're on the topic, I haven't decided if I'm going to do winner takes all for this contribution leaderboard here, or if we'll do top three. I think we'll do top three, because it's just a bit more incentive for people to have a crack, and even if you're not winning, you can still get some money out of it. I'm thinking we'll do a 20% for third, 30% for second, 50% for first. And fuck it, we'll do that for the prize pool as well. Unless you want to do winner takes all towards the end of the year, we'll do a poll and decide what we want to do for the grand prize. So good shit, SLM and JetSpeed. Is JetSpeed Nathan? Holy shit, JetSpeed is Nathan. I've got the fucking number one overall in my league and commenting on my videos. That's fucking hectic. Mate, Nathan, let's have a look at your team. Sandon Smith, he's got Owen Paddy. He knows. He's the GOAT. Payne Haas, Terrell May, Tarpany, and Fanua Blake, stacked. Tino, Dylan Lucas, Ola Kawatu, Eli Katoa, Kaloa Matangi, Dylan Egan, stacked. Fogarty, good option. I want to get him in as well if I haven't already. I can't remember. Munster. So he's stacked the pack. His halves are a bit lacking, but that's fine. I'm sure he'll sort that out. Kiraz, Holmes, Tamale, and Gagai. Nice and different there. I like that a lot. You got Jalen DeGroot as well. You either think very similar to me or you've been taking my advice and you're coming first, so I hope it's that one. Tedesco, Pappenhausen, Drinkwater. That is the three fullbacks you want. This is literally, outside of the halves, this is pretty much how I'm aiming to get my team set up. So he's managed to do it 2 or 3 weeks before I'll be able to get there. So you're killing it, bro. Well done. I'm sure you'll be in contention to take out the money at the end of the year. So I can confirm that 12-12 was enough for me to see green arrows around the 2000th rank, so that's quite nice. It was a week for the stragglers. I say the stragglers, I mean people around my rank trying to push up to the top 1k. It was a good week for us to catch up, and if you're prepared for Origin, then could be a good time to shoot ahead. Anyway, let's get into the trade carnage this week. I imagine a lot of people are in some shit. So, for my trades this week, I've gone Fogarty and Nawaka Nitawasi in for Ponga and Tino. I could go one more trade, but the only players I'm looking to bring in now are AFB, Katoa. They're my biggest ones. And it's just not that smart to bring them in this week, so I'll hold on to that trade and do it next week. So we'll start with the Queensland team for any replacements you might need. No one's surprised by Kalen Ponga, but what you can do if you don't like the fullback options you've got this week, I'm wanting to bring in Drinkwater next week, because obviously he's not playing this week, but I still want to trade Ponga out. So you can trade him out. If you have Fletcher Sharp, flip him down to fullback or to flex, and then you can bring in whoever you want. So that's what I've done. Next week, I'll be trading out Toya, Fletcher Sharp back to the center wing, bring in Drinkwater. There's a little bit of chat around whether Drinky is an Origin option. Absolutely he is. He scored one low score. He's got tons in the bag for the past month. And after this week, he plays, I want to say, every game. Yeah, he plays the rest of the Origin period. I'd say he's almost a must. The only fullback I want more than him is Teddy, and I've already got him, so. As for scoring options, I think Drinky and Teddy are your biggest targets. Obviously, that's team dependent, but yeah, I'd be looking to get them in wherever possible. Toya, he's not an immediate sell, but he is a sell. The Roosters miss rounds 17 and 14, and Toya's also going to miss 12, 15, and 18. I don't know if I like the odds of the Roosters backing up for round 16 or round 13 for that matter. It just seems like a good opportunity for them to be rested. Although Toya is a centre, he won't get too banged up, hopefully. There's a chance, but I feel like it's better to err on the side of caution and just sell him, because he's peaked in price anyway. It's a good time to do it. So as for centre wing options to replace him with, obviously, if you're doing the Fletcher Sharp duels, then you're getting in a fullback instead. But say you were going for a centre wing, I think the one I like the most is Kale Iro. Him and Mulatalo's combination is interesting. There's in attack, you'll quite often see Mulatalo come in to contest a kick and then get it out to the wing for Iro, which is exactly what you want. As Timmy said on SC Playbook, he's defending at center and getting the base stats, and then attacking on the wing and getting attacking stats. And I'm pretty sure he's scored a try every single game he's played this year. He's on fire. The Sharks are going to heat up against some Origin starless teams. He is 700k, but I don't think he'll disappoint you. And part of me really wants to click that button and get him in this week. But the Sharks have the bye next week, so maybe hold off and do that in round 14. Although against a starless Roosters team, he could go quite huge. You can do it this week if you're set up for round 13, which I am. So fuck it, I'm doing it. He's in. Hammer and Val, same thing. If you're needing to sell them, I'd probably go Kale Iro. We'll have a look at some other options just in case you need something cheaper. How much is Hiroti? He could be an option. Hiroti, 432k. It's not ideal. God, I wish we got Talakai starting. That would have been perfect. Yeah, if you don't have 700k to play with, you could go a Hiroti. Stone Street is out for at least a month, so he's nice and safe. And realistically, he's got job security for a month, 432k starting in a Guns Sharks side. If he goes on a run, he could score the same as Kale Iro, but would definitely be a little more attacking stat reliant. Let's have a look at his stats. So in 80-minute performances, he's scoring 70 or 80. This 13, he only played 38 minutes. He must have got injured there. And that is with a try in all of those games. A try and a line break in all those games. So you take that away and you're still looking at a 50. And he's priced at under a 50. So I like it. Hiroti's a good option. This is also obviously dependent on how you're going for your Origin cover. If you're not sure, I'll leave a link to this down in the description. Obviously, this data down the bottom here is specific to my team, but this will really help you. I think that's enough for the centres. Munster and Cherry Evans. Now, I'm planning on holding Munster. I've brought in Wishart because he just always seems to do quite well in this period. Although granted, last year Hughes did have the injury, so he got a little bit more time. But I have faith. I'm not after him getting me money or anything, just like a nice 80-minute score when Munster's out. That's enough for me. Harry Grant, I don't think too many people have him, and I don't think too many people are wanting to do trades at hooker. As for the forwards, with Jules and stuff, it's kind of... I imagine most people have Jules, so I'll just do front row forward and second row forward together. Let's have a look at our options here. Adam Fanua-Blake is the standout. Sharks have pretty good Origin cover, missing 12 and 16, so that's not too bad. And the Sharks do have pretty good cover, missing 13 and 18, and they've got some nice matchups in there as well. So I really like the Adam Fanua-Blake play. I also really like a Tarpany play. Tarpany misses 15 and 19, which is a bit tough. 19's a tricky week, but it is kind of far away, so don't have to think about that too hard yet. I also really like Tarpany. Eli Katoa, I'll be bringing in, I want to say next week. He's a good option. Keon, also a good option. There's lots of options in the forwards. It really just comes down to your squad structure and where you need cover. You don't need me to tell you that all these guys are good options. You've probably figured that out for yourself already. It just comes down to your squad structure there. Obviously, if you're still holding Jesse Arthurs, he'll still be named. He'll still play. Kurt Mann will be the one that actually has to go up and train. As for the Blues, the top 5 here, I can't imagine too many people have. Nathan Cleary, I've sold him, and I've replaced him with Fogarty. Fogarty's averaging about 80 this year. The Raiders are just chugging along nicely. And while I don't think they're a competition threat, they are the real deal in terms of Supercoach options this year, so I really like that. And Cleary just hasn't been setting the world alight. Maybe Origin could kick him into that next gear and make him amazing for the run home. I will be getting him for the run home. I don't want to miss out on that. That's too stressful. But yeah, in the halves, the clear standout for me is Fogarty. Jerome Hughes just hasn't really been exciting me too much, so I've gone away from that idea. Payne Haas. Now, this is an interesting one. He has a quad niggle at the moment, and I was listening to NRL Physio, who said he had an interesting take, saying that if he's named for Origin, then he's a sell. Normally you'd think, oh, okay, he's named, he's fine. But the thing is, what I think the point NRL Physio was trying to get to was if he isn't named for Origin and then is named for the Broncos, then he'll be scoring for us. And he also has a little bit more recovery time to get that quad right. I won't be selling him, but there's an argument that you could. Isaiah Yeo I sold as well. He's just been lackluster. He's been okay, but nothing like last year, along with the rest of the Panthers. And there's not a whole lot of Supercoach relevance here outside of Homoli Olakuatu, who will play for Manly because he's 20th man. So that's the Origin teams gone over again. Let's go over to the injuries now. Shout out again to NRL Physio. His content is elite. Not only is he super knowledgeable with injuries and recovery and all that, but he's also a super coacher, so he ties it into Supercoach relevance. One of the better subscriptions you can make on YouTube if you're a passionate super coacher. I'm just in the description here. It's just a nice list of all the niggles and injuries, and it is so helpful. So, Jake Boyovich, Daniel Sluka Fafita, not too Supercoach relevant. Bradman Best with the hammy. He's obviously not been named this week. He's a sell. Dylan Lucas has been named despite that shoulder complaint. I have gone over most of this on my TLT video, but just in case you haven't seen it or just want a refresher. Jacob Saifidi's gone for a month with a calf, which sucks because he was an amazing Origin cover option, nice and cheap. That's a shame. Ponga's obviously off to Origin. Fletcher Sharp overcame that lower leg injury and has been named at fullback. Riley Smith. Riley Smith has been named for the Eels, so anyone who went him, you're in the clear. Karaz would have been over. Calf out for a month. Sucks. He's a sell, unfortunately. Nafahu White, not named. This is a big one. Right as we needed him for cover, he's gone. He's a sell. You can go to one of those premium forwards I was talking about earlier, or if you want a straight swap for the Roosters because you need that cover, Savala is a good option. Fiketti's a good option. He should get some more minutes. But I would avoid those interchange Roosters players now because as soon as some players come back, they'll be the first to drop out. I suppose you could go those guys if you wanted that to happen and you want them to be enough at the end of the Origin period. But we just don't know what kind of minutes they're going to get, what kind of scores they're going to get. So I can't recommend that. Tom Gilbert's out with a pec again. He's a sell. Murray Taulagi with a calf is interesting. I don't think he is super owned in Supercoach, but if you do have him, he's on the bye this week anyway, so maybe just sit on him and wait and see what happens. Stone Street, syndesmosis, out for a month. We've been over that. Jesse Ramian, eye injury past his HIA. I'm pretty sure he's been named this week. Yes, he has. I quite like him as an option as well. I've been frothing on him all year, but I think Kale Iro is the better option there, to be honest. Dylan Egan, ACL, he's in the same boat as all the other forwards I've talked about. There's options available for him. Payne Haas has been cleared of his quad, so he should be good to play Origin, which makes NRL Physio think he's a sell, but I think he's a keep until we know he's properly injured. Carrigan should be fine, just with a bit of a face fuck up. Cobbo with a wrist, but he's on the bye anyway. Samuela Fainu, maybe a couple of people who've potted him up, but he's also on the bye. And the ladies aren't too relevant to Supercoach, are they? So look at that beautiful face. Mwah. The next thing I want to cover is nothing. So I've already got two. One in centre wing, one in 2RF, because they are the most stacked positions with 3 reserves available. I don't think you'd want to have many more than 2 at the moment. A lot of people started with enough, I did, to allow for VC loops and stuff. If you've listened to SC Playbook, you would have heard them talk about it today. If you've got 1, I think you can go to 2, but realistically, you don't want to be nuffing out right now. Unless it's maybe one of those Roosters interchange forwards who should be enough at the end of the Origin period once players return. Or if you're just so set up and you can actually afford to just nuff out a player, or if you need that to fund a player to help your coverage. So I think 2 nuffs is the maximum you want to have at the moment. Depth is so important at this time of year. But then after the Origin period, I'm going to go hard on the nuffs. I'm going to have all of these non-playing reserves nuffed out bar 2. It's quite risky, but it is a way to maximize points going into the end of the year. It's just high risk, high reward. Having a look at the most popular moves. Payne Haas being the most traded out is surprising, but I get it. He's worth a lot of money. There's a bit of a niggle there. But I've planned on holding him since the start of the year, so that's what I'm going to do. Matty Nicholson, makes sense, he's injured. Pappenhausen being traded out is fucking crazy. I imagine that's people selling him for Tedesco, but I think you need to find another way. I think during this Origin period, you want to aim for Pappenhausen, Tedesco, and Drinkwater. You could argue that Turbo's an option, but until I see him moving freely and being the Supercoach god that we know he is, I'm not bringing him in. Munster, yeah, sure, you can sell him, but for me, I'm not looking to have a reserve on a 5'8 at the end of the year, so I'm happy to just not do any trades there. Wish you'll get me some points for now. And 5'8's just one of those positions I don't want to be burning trades on. Derby being a sell, that one makes sense. Players coming in, Adam Fanua-Blake, we've covered that. That makes lots of sense. Zach Hosking. With Hudson Young off to Origin, I think they could favour his side a little bit more potentially. There's a world where he goes huge and kind of takes on some of those points Huddy would have got. Xavier Savage, I didn't realise was that cheap with a break even of minus 27. Let's talk about him. Just remind myself of the Raiders coverage. They will help you for this week and next week, so I can see why people are trading him in. 15 isn't the hardest for coverage, but he does miss 19, which is a bit tough. Again, that's ages away, so I think Xavier Savage might actually be a better option than Hiroti in the short term. The Raiders have New Zealand away, Sydney away, Souths at home, and then a bye, while the Sharks have the Roosters away, New Zealand at home, and a bye in round 13. So maybe you could start off with Xavier Savage and then flip over to Hiroti in round 15 if you're struggling for numbers. I don't mind that, and honestly, I think I'm going to put Xavier Savage in instead of Kale Iro. Actually, I need that money from him for next week, so let's just chill out on that one and I'll decide that later. Kale Iro, one of the most traded in, 100% get it. He's been killing it all year. He's going to come up against some weaker sides in a Shark side that hasn't been touched by Origin. And Samrani, this one is a bit weird. Yeah, he's got a minus 19 break even, but he's playing for a Parasite that doesn't have Mitch Moses in it. I think you just cough up the extra 85k and go Xavier Savage. So that's all coaches. Let's have a look at what the top 1% is doing. Top 1% most traded out is still Payne Haas and Toya, Nicholson, Munster, Pappenhausen as well in the top 1%. That is bizarre. And a lot of top 1% is bringing in Turbo and Tarpany in there as well. So I understand those options. And I fully understand getting Turbo in as well. He's 550k. He's coming up against the Eels without Moses. It could burn me not going him this week. But are we going to see Turbo come out and be the Turbo we know he is after one more week, after seeing him still laboured last week? As a Manly fan, I'm not convinced. But if there is a player who can come out and hurt you when you least expect it, it is Tom Trbojevic. Let's go have a look at who's top in the league. I mean, I already know who he is because he's coming fucking first. Jet Speed, overall rank, number fucking 1. That must feel so good. Did he get the top points scored as well? Fucking hell. Alright, Nathan, if you leave a comment, you get the whole budget this week. It only seems fair. You're absolutely flying, bro. He's 300 points ahead of whoever's coming second. I think you guys got some work to do to catch up to him. He's absolutely killing it. That'll do it for this video. Hopefully this has resolved some things I didn't mention in the New South Wales and Queens teams list announcements. And that'll do it. Don't forget to leave a bet in the comment, especially if your name's Nathan and your team name's Jet Speed. If there are other comments that aren't Jet Speed, I'll put them on with some lower stakes, just so everyone can have a bit of fun. Sweet, good luck for round 12, guys. I'll see ya on Sunday. Uru.